Привет, ласкаво просимо. Okay, let's see. Story we're gonna tell today is the first time I did what I thought was gonna be LSD. Well, I wasn't expecting anything, but this is the first time I did 2C-B. So, I'm doing my research. Everybody knows. I don't know if everybody knows, but OGs know about arrowid.com. Now, if anybody knows any other websites, or if there's the new generation of children who have some other website that teaches you about drugs and the effects and the duration, the dosages, and here's the drum thing. This came off the drums. Oh, here. Hold on, I gotta put this on the drum set. Alright, so arrowid.com is a website. Check it out. Tells you every drug, tells you what dosages are high, heroic, low, moderate, tells you every effect, the positive, the neutral, the negative. It tells you there's stories, people's trip stories. Anyway, so I'm ready. This is high school. I'm ready to do psychedelics. I'm ready to go to space. I'm on psychonaut space travel mode, man. This is like, I gotta, what's going on in this life? Life is psychedelic. Let's make it a little more psychedelic. So I'm ready to do, I already had done shrooms, I hadn't smoked weed at this point. To me, weed was like, bro, that's kids shit. I'm going to the big boy shit. So I did M first, I didn't even drink yet. Like Molly was the first drug I ever did, the first substance altering, mind boggling thing I ever did. And then I did shrooms, and then I don't know what else, something blah blah. I'm like, I'm ready for acid, bro. I'm ready for LSD. So I would always do my research. I'd always go on Arrowid and be like, shrooms. What's the deal with shrooms? I gotta do this. I gotta be responsible. We gotta do our training and our G-force tests and our physicals and our written exams before we go to space. So I'm looking up LSD. I'm doing all my research. I'm looking at other websites. People are talking about, you can't get real acid anymore. In the 90s, the only two people who ever created the real are gone. They got arrested, and there was only 3 million tabs left in the world, and you can't get it anymore. And I'm like, damn. And they're like, if you get acid, it's most likely going to be some research chemical like 2C-B or 2CI or 2529 or 39X or R2D2 or C3PO or 4922 or 42069 XXX porno. So I'm like, whatever. I ain't expecting real acid, but if I get it, that's cool. And they're like, if it's a bitter, it's a spitter. If it ain't, you're gonna be a saint. Yeah. Actually, that's a funny story. You should search John Lennon Jesus LSD story. He took LSD and he was like, I'm Jesus. I'm Jesus reincarnated. I have to be. I don't know how far he took it though. He did call the rest of the Beatles in the next day to be like, guys, you gotta understand, I'm Jesus Christ. Anyway, I don't know. John Lennon, legend. So I'm checking out, LSD. They're telling what it's all about. I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. And then, started mentioning 2C-B could be what you get. And I'm like, all right, I got to search this up too because, it could be 2C-B. Who knows? So I started looking it up and do my research, pass the written exam, the reading test, the G-force. Well, Yeah, I passed the G-force test, and then it was time for the real thing. So I'm like, hey, we'll call this guy Romano Milano. This is Romani Milano. So I'm like, hey, Romani Milano, I heard you got links to the Jinx stuff. And he's like, oh, yo. Actually, you know what? I'm not quite sure exactly if this is who I got it from, but I think it is. I know the second time I did it, I got it from this guy. But I don't know if it was this time. But I think it was. So I'm just going to say Romani Milano was like, hey, my cousin's a chemist. He makes acid in his basement. And I'm like, oh, shit. Nah. I'm getting it straight from the source. So we'll call this other guy who I'm like, yo, we're going to do. This was my drug. I had a drug buddy. We would do every drug together in high school. We're going to call this guy the Jano Mano. So Jano Mano. Me and Jano Mano had already done like Molly together. We already did shrooms together. Maybe something else. I don't know. That story might come if I remember. And I'm like, hey, Jano Mano, you ready to do some acid? He's like, bro, I'm already on acid. I'm like, oh, fuck. Nah. And yeah, I think this was like our first times doing it, like all the time. Like every time we would do a drug together, it would be our first time. So, Jano Mano and I start planning, we're gonna get the 2C-B, we're gonna get it. Well, the LSD, I didn't know. I wasn't expecting it to be LSD, or I was just like, I know I'm gonna get tabs of paper. They might taste bitter, they might not. But either way, we're getting high, and I don't care. They're similar. They're not even that. Because when I did do real acid, it's like it's pretty different. Anyway. So, man, I'm trying to remember how I got the stuff from Romano Milano. Or how he sold it to me. Because there's 2 times, but I don't remember which one was. I don't remember one of them. I don't know. I'm just gonna say the one I remember, and then when the other story comes, I'll probably just say it again. But Romani Milano, he's like, buddy, I got the I'm like, oh, buddy, you got the ish? Come meet me at, I think it was a movie theater. He's like, come meet me at the movie theater. I know I got it from him at a movie theater one of the time. Wait a sec. Okay, yes. Okay, now I remember. Movie theater. He's like, yeah, meet me at Cineplex behind the Ting Ting. I'm like, all right. Meet him. Go there. This guy's wearing his leather jacket. He's like, bro, long ass hair. He's like, the rocker, docker, blocker of hoes. When hoes texted me, blocked them. Anyway, so I don't know if he did that. Anyway, so I meet him in the back Cineplex outside the alley, like somewhere. He gives me the tinfoil. I'm like, oh shit. He's like, it's got Care Bears on it or something. I'm like, cool. I take it. I sleep on it. The next day, wake up. I'm like, yo, Jano Mano, let's do this, busy boy. He's like, all right, we had a plan. I'm gonna go meet. We'll call this guy father, son, because he's a father and he's a son at the same time. We are the father sons of each other. So we go to father son. We go to his house. Jano Mano and I meet up before that. I think we took it already. We took it, and then we were like, let's go to what's his name? Father Sons. We meet Father Son. We're like, we need a safe haven, right? We need somewhere to chill. So Father Son's like, all right, let's not chill here. Let's go to Gusty Babies. So we go to we take a walk to Gusty Babies, and This Gusty baby is gonna probably be in a bunch of stories, but this was the first time meeting him. He went to the same school as us, but we weren't. The friend group, the whole group, that the main chill group wasn't established yet at this point. This was what, grade 11, when drugs started happening. And I'm like, yo, all right, let's go. Jano Mano, we got Devin Chi, we got father, son, we're all going. Let's take a walk. Walking all the way, you know. Actually, no, we hadn't taken it yet. I remember now. Because we got to Gusty Baby's front door. Blah, blah, blah. And I already had heard about Gusty Baby. And I'm like, oh, we're going to meet that guy now. The door opens. It's Gusty Baby. He's like, hey. And he already knew, like, we were coming over to chill at his house because Gusty Baby's got the basement where everyone chills. You know, it's like that 70s show. And there's going to be a lot of stories in this basement, probably. So, opens the door, standing there, like, this is the man. And he's like, hey. He points to me, and he's like, how's he holding up? And he's like, oh, I didn't take it yet. All right. So we go, get inside. You know, what up? Go to the basement. And then we're like, let's take it. Richard and I, we cut this paper. Because they weren't even perforated. They were just paper with grid on it with pictures, probably Care Bears or something, I think it was. Cut it, pop it. Okay, ready. We're just chilling on the couch. Gusty Baby's playing some Heavy Rain, I remember. Heavy Rain demo. And I'm just sitting on the couch. Jano Mano's chilling on the other couch. I'm just like ready for this to hit. Excited because, ooh, psychedelics. Ooh, what's this? Life actually offered psychedelics to people. It alters your state of consciousness. It's funny. So just chilling, waiting, watching this game. And gets to this point in the game where in the demo, it gets to this point where you're playing as a detective in this long raincoat, and you're walking down the apartment hallway, and there's like screaming going on and stuff, and there's a domestic violence issue. So he gets to this person's apartment door and he starts knocking, and then the wooden door had like wood grain pattern on it, and this wood grain pattern on the door, as he's waiting for the door to be opened, just start sliding around. They just start sliding around the door, and I'm like, in my head, I'm just looking at it, I'm like, okay, I don't think they like finished the demo. Like, I don't think they finished rendering it because the graphics are fucking up. Like, because I had no idea I was starting to peak. Because like, this was new. I'm new to drugs. I was new to drugs at this point. So I'm like laughing in my head, just like, what the hell? They didn't even like finish it and like put this out. It's already glitching and stuff. So door opens, and then it's like this conversation at the front door, like, what do you want? Blah blah blah, and it's like going close-ups to like back and forth, close-ups of each character talking to each other, and then their faces start morphing. I'm like, wow, they really just put this out without finishing it. Like, okay. And like, I'm just realizing like Gusty Baby's not even like, does he even care? And then Jano Mano, I don't know if I guess he was starting to trip. I wasn't asking anyone. But then I think I mentioned, like, what the hell's wrong with their, like, why are their faces doing that? And then I remember Gusty Baby just laughs like that. And I'm like, yeah, he sees it too, right? But now I realize he was just laughing because he's like, this guy's probably about to trip. So then some giant scuffle just starts going on in the apartment between this detective in a raincoat and this wife beater guy in a wife beater. and they're just breaking bottles over each other's heads, and you just gotta press the button, like the button prompts, and it's just going all like starting to turn into water. Everything's starting to turn into water, and I'm like, oh, I'm tripping. And then all of a sudden, my body became the couch. My body became the couch. And then my head just started blowing up like a balloon. And I'm like, I had a giant head, no body. Body was the couch. I'm like, ooh, this is the weirdest sensation in the world. Then it all came back. I became my body again. Like I had proper proportions again. Okay, I'm tripping. This game's just tripping me out now. I'm just like, okay. Gentleman, are you tripping? Gentleman was like, yeah. So I think the demo ends at some point. Whatever. It was hard to pay attention. And then then another guy came over. We'll call this guy Billy Bats. Go get your shine box, huh? Go get your shine box, huh? You motherfucker, you. So Billy Bats comes down the stairs, and I'm like, yo. I already knew Billy Bats. I already knew him. So he comes down, and actually, I don't even know if I knew him, but I just remember him coming down the stairs, and 40 of him were following behind. And I'm like, yo, can you do that again? There's like 40 of you. There's like a trail of you. And I remember reading on Arrow like about trails and like other websites about the trails. So like that's why I used the term. I'm like, oh, those are the trails. And he starts going back up the stairs, like walking in a funny cartoonish way, like do back up and down, and like the trails weren't coming anywhere. So I'm like, whatever. And then we're just like looking at psychedelic stuff on the computer. And then there's this one video. I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna link this video, and it was this crazy Japanese commercial about what was it? Some food. Oh no, I don't even know. I hope I can find it. But it was this dog, and this dog is it's this like man dog. He looks like Goofy from that not Looney Tunes. What's Goofy from? Goofy, big, but he was like a big mascot dog thing, like man dog thing, and there's those chips, like advertising the chips, and then something happens because some guy gets the chip bag, and then the dog looks, and like a vignette goes around the dog's close up, and Richard and I are pissing, and I'm like, yo, that's the off. He got pissed off right there. Like that's the climax. This is the climax of the commercial. Like he got so pissed right there when the vignette went around him, and like we're saying this is the off pissing climax. We're like, this is the off pissing climax. Oh, just remember that if anything happens in your life that pisses you off, it's an off-pissing climax, and it's not going to last, Don't let it be your off-pissing climax. Don't let it get to you. You're happy deep down. Deepest part of your system. So, pissing at the off-pissing climax, we're laughing at that. We're having such a jokes time talking about the off-pissing climax of this dog, bro. Like, we kept rewinding it and watching this stupid 2-second moment in this commercial. Like, when I link this, you guys are going to know the off-pissing climax, the legendary off-pissing climax that was the messiah of off-pissing climaxes. So, I don't know. I think we started looking at other weird stuff. And then then Billy Bats starts playing guitar in the back, and he plays a G chord, and a blue stream just flutters out of the guitar hole. And I'm like, yo, a blue stream just came out of the guitar, Billy Bats. And he's like, oh crap. And then he looks at me, and I'm like, yo, your eyes are literally black holes right now, like all around, like imagine a skull, the black parts of a skull, the black eye holes in a skull. His whole eyes are that. So then, blah blah blah. Time goes on. And I start playing Modern Warfare 2 in Gusty Baby's house. I'm just chilling playing, and this is when it's like mad peaking. I don't remember what Jano Mano was doing. He must have been tripping, but he may have left at the. I don't know. I think he was there the whole time, but I don't remember him being there for this because playing Modern Warfare 2 and we're on Terminal. This might have been Modern Warfare 1, but I think Modern Warfare 2 had Terminal. So we get into the foyer, the lobby, where there's the escalators that go up, and like things are out of control. Like it's like Photoshop, and you're just cut out certain like objects, and you're just like sliding them around while other things are staying still. So there's this one guy, and I'm like, I got the scar. I remember this clearly. I got the scar, and I'm standing at the bottom level, and this one guy is just the map is still, but this one guy's body is flying up to the top left corner, right left corner, bottom up down, like it was so surreal. Like I'm like, how could like my mind be doing this? How could it take this like thing, this one guy, and like move him at stupid parts of the map? So I'm just blasting at this man that's flying around like a spirit, like a little fruit fly, and I'm like, and I'm like scared, like he's gonna kill me because I can't focus properly. But I'm just like in my head, I'm like, I could be shooting the wall right now, like I don't know. But then I just see pip, plus 50 or plus 10 or whatever the hell it is, and I'm like, yo, I killed him on acid. Holy, like I was so happy, I was so proud, and like I was so astounded that I was actually aiming at him. Like it didn't seem like I was actually hitting him or aiming at anything. Like, and then we're just laughing, and then we're like, yo, I'm messaging him. So I find this guy's name, I message him, and it just says, I killed you on acid. Send. Bloop. Another message comes, I go to it. Lol, who is this? Who is this? It's the guy who killed you on acid, bruh. I never talked to him again, though. But, man who I killed on acid, if you're watching this, please comment. Or please make yourself known. But you gotta give proof. And I don't know how you're gonna give proof, so I don't know. There might be a bunch of imposters. Or maybe the real one will come. Will the real Slim Shady? Will the real killed on acid please stand up? And it was a super proud moment. We're laughing. I killed you on acid. You know, like these certain jokes were jokes that stayed for years. Like I killed you on acid was like a phrase for years, and then, you know, like off piss and climax. So this game ends. You know, whatever. It's great. Killed this guy on acid. Felt amazing. Like that I was I couldn't believe I was actually shooting this guy on acid. This thing that was flying all over the map and like didn't make sense. And then I don't remember. It just finished. I don't remember what happened after that. I guess the trip went down and I walked home. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I killed a man on acid, and the dog had an off-piston climax because of the chips. Because of the chips. Something happened with the chips. And I met Gusty Baby for the first time. Oh, and that's right. When I put it in the mouth, it was a spitter. But I didn't spit it out because I'm like, I'm not spitting this out. And I remember just kind of being a little disappointed, like, it's not LSD. But I remember being like, you know, I'll get LSD one day. I know I will. And that's all for today, folks. And we're going to cut it here. This was a pretty long story, you know, I rambled on like an idiot. But I've had it, man. Farewell then. And be good. Let's dance in style. let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait. We're watching the stars, looking for the best, but expecting the worst. Are we gonna drop the bomb?